Is Sukuna about to die? Short answer, no. Or let's just say I hope he doesn't. With the cliffhanger at the end of the recent chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, we can see Sukuna about to get stabbed with the executioner blade, with certain people already thinking that it's over for him. But I think this will simply be too easy. In this video, we're going to discuss what can happen to Sukuna after this last chapter, as well as what other opportunities they will have after what happened to Higuruma. Because first, we do not know if he is actually dead, and if he is, we don't even know what happens with the blade or the confiscation. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So there are three things that can happen with Sukuna in the next chapter. Considering how much faster he is, the first option will simply be for him to move out of the way, which in my opinion would make a lot of sense. The second option will simply be for him to get stabbed and die right here on the spot, which I don't really like because it just feels too easy. And the third option is for the sword to actually not kill him in one shot, but this one would actually piss me off, and I feel like that third option needs to be the first thing I talk about. The reason why I would actually hate it is because of the lack of consistency. After it has already been explained that the executioner's sword is supposed to one-shot your opponent, with so much hope given to us with the fact that we can even save Megumi without damaging him, I feel like it would just be stupid for Sukuna to survive that in any way possible. The first thing that I've heard a lot of people say would be that Sukuna is so strong that the sword couldn't just kill him in one hit, but it would at least nerf him and make his defeat more realistic. And while I agree with the fact that he needs some type of nerf in order to lose, I still don't think that anybody should be able to survive the sword. As we know in the jujutsu world, no matter how strong you are, you still have to abide by the same rules. For example, no matter how strong Sukuna is, he still doesn't have the right to break a binding vow. Or for example, domain expansions such as Gojo's or Naoya's. Your strength doesn't really matter in this situation because the hacks is just supposed to destroy you. And I think it is the same case with the executioner's sword. After being found guilty, there should be no way for you to even survive the blade. So for Sukuna to simply find some type of loophole or just be too strong to be affected by the hacks would be annoying to me. But maybe some of y'all feel a bit different about this, and you can let me know that in the comments. But the main arguments that I've seen to defend the fact that Sukuna could survive is the fact that certain abilities have been proven to not be absolute, but there's a big difference between those abilities and this situation. The reason why Sukuna's domain expansion is classified as instant death is because it simply cuts you too fast to even react. But if somebody like for example Gojo was able to react to the slashes, it will be able to survive for the whole duration. And the same thing can be said about Mahoraga because his adaptation was keeping up with the slashes. Another example is Hollow Purple and how Sukuna survived it twice. As we already know, Hollow Purple is not complete existence erasure. That imaginary mass is just so strong that it destroys everything in its way. But if it was to encounter something that was strong enough to withstand it, it wouldn't be able to just destroy it. Even though people like to call it existence erasure, we've seen plenty of times where it didn't just destroy everything. First, let's talk about Hanami's case. People would say that Hanami managed to run away, but the reason why she took so much damage was because she got hit by the attack. Even though she wasn't in the center of it, she still got hit. And if it was actually considered existence erasure, there is nothing that Hanami would have been able to do even without being at the center. Because we saw that a supposedly stronger version of Hanami was not able to withstand Gojo's aura. Gojo simply working towards it was able to destroy it completely, yet she was still able to withstand the purple. Another example is Sukuna. As it has been stated in the series, the further it goes, the weaker it gets. The reason why Sukuna was able to survive it twice was because he never got to actually take the full impact. The first time, Gojo shot his purple from very far, and the second time, Gojo created an explosion in the sky that had to go all the way to Sukuna, which didn't have as much power as if he directly got hit by it. But there are actually abilities that are absolute in the verse. Angel's Jacob ladder had the ability to kill Sukuna when he had 15 fingers, and I still think it has the ability to do it. As long as there's evil in the target, Angel can get rid of it, and against that, not even a sorcerer as strong as Sukuna was able to do anything. The third thing that I would hate is for Sukuna to find a loophole, and the first thing that would come to my head when I think of that is that if the body has two souls, the sword will only separate them, and now the person that is being judged has to be stabbed once again while the other body will be free, meaning that Sukuna would have to be stabbed twice. I wouldn't mind this explanation if something had already been established before, but now everything is established. The sword is just supposed to get rid of the person that is being judged after stabbing him, and once again we can just say Higuruma didn't know. But as much as we can abuse this card, I just don't think it is the right thing to do. Finding a loophole somewhere is interesting and can create some great plot twists, but abusing that can quickly make the story boring. Every rule can now be ignored because we can just find some loophole every single time. All this to say that I hope this isn't the way things are going to unfold. Now there is simply a possibility of Sukuna dying right here and Megumi being free, and while this isn't necessarily bad because everything that has been established is making sense, I still think it is too easy and it wouldn't be that enjoyable for Sukuna to die like this. It is just too disrespectful impactful for a character like this. I only see two ways for Sukuna to die. The first thing would simply be for him to die as the strongest, while still looking the strongest and still believing in his ideology, meaning that he was defeated but never broken. Something kind of like Aizen, meaning that even in defeat, the character still looks as respectable as he was supposed to be, and even if his ideology ends up changing, it would still go out and looking like a boss. The second way would be something like Mahito. I have been seeing a lot of people say that things have been so well for Sukuna that his downfall will be even greater. While I don't want a character assassination, I still think that there are ways to go around it without completely destroying Sukuna's character, but just giving him a downfall that was even worse than all of the success that he had during the whole series. But in any case, the death needs to be impactful, and this right here is just the most anticlimactic death that I can see for him. I've also seen theories about the last finger, meaning that he could just die right now but still come back in some way with the last finger. I don't really want to expand too much on that, so we'll just leave it at that. But the theory that I'm going with would be for Sukuna to just not get stabbed. You have multiple ways of just avoiding this. He could simply stop Yuji by slashing him, or just avoiding the attack by moving out of the way. From the information that we have, Sukuna should be fast enough to speed blitz him right there. A main reason for that is that unless Yuji is way stronger than what we've been told, there is no way that he's fast enough to even connect. As we all remember in the fight opposing Choso to Kenjaku effortlessly dodged a piercing blood that was at the same distance from his head. A piercing blood is one of the fastest things in the verse, and we also know that there is a big difference in movement speed and reaction speed between Sukuna and Kenjaku. Unless we can prove that Yuji can swing his arm way faster than a piercing blood, or that Sukuna somehow didn't notice him, I don't see a way for Yuji to even make it to Sukuna before he disappears. But that leaves us with this question: did higuruma die for nothing? From the way things are looking, higuruma is dying, and it's even reminding Yuji of Naname's death, with both of them leaving the rest to him. But now I'm wondering, if Yuji doesn't kill Sukuna right now, what happens to the executioner blade after higuruma is dead? What would be logical is for the sword to disappear as well as the confiscation to end, meaning that Yuji would now have to use his own curse technique in order to defeat Sukuna, or simply get help from other sorcerers or somebody else's hacks. But another thing that would be cool to me is for higuruma to use a binding vow in the very end. By sacrificing his life, he can entrust Yuji with the executioner blade, meaning that even though he's dead and the confiscation is lifted, the executioner blade is now just a weapon that is here to destroy Sukuna and Sukuna alone. And Yuji will be the one entrusted with this duty, or even being able to give the sword to somebody else, like for example Maki, or even Yuta if he makes it back from his confrontation with Kenjaku. All this to say that the two likely options would be for Sukuna to not get hit, or for Sukuna to get hit but somehow survive. I would really hate that second option, so let's just hope that the first one is what happens, because it is just impossible for him to die right now with all of the plans that they had. We still don't know what was Maki's role in all of this. Maybe she was supposed to get to the fight and help them fight Sukuna, or maybe she was even planning to jump Yorame with Hakari. Still don't know what happened to Yuta, but according to the plan he was supposed to make it back to the battle. So for Sukuna to just die without any of the heavy eaters even participating in the fight would just be the craziest thing to ever imagine. But this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching, and peace. If you're interested in any sort of anime clothing or accessories, look no further than Anime Express. Whether you're looking for style, comfort, or both, they got you covered. You can choose from all sorts of series going from Jujutsu Kaisen to Attack on Titan to Dragon Ball and way more. If you're interested, look at the link in my description, and by using code GODLYOMEN10, you can get a 10% off on anything you buy. Enjoy your time, and thanks for Anime Express for sponsoring this video.